Hey everyone, I'm here again for Mathematics for the Impatient with Stan Kladko, CTO of Scale. And today, Metaverse. This is what everyone is talking about. It is not only an interesting and timely topic, but one that everyone is going to be trying to figure out over the coming years. So I'm going to start out with a really quick question. What is the Metaverse and what is so exciting about it, Stan?
Yeah, that's a great question, Marcos. And I think this is a really big notion, and it also appeared quite suddenly. Just like 3 months ago, people didn't really talk about metaverse, but then suddenly with NFTs and all other things that are happening in the blockchain world, suddenly people came up with this notion. Now everyone is super excited about this. And to explain what a metaverse is, first, let's just discuss what's a universe, right? Universe is a very basic notion. Universe is physics, right? And in physics, if I have this cup of coffee, I hold this cup of coffee, and it belongs to the physical world. If I drop it, if it drops, so I know the rules how this world operates. And if someone wants to take this cup of coffee from me, someone needs to actually grab it from me. So I know how to hold it. It's not so easy for anyone to take this cup of coffee from me. So all of our physical world things are actually obeyed by rules, which are called physical laws. And there are laws of classical mechanics that Newton discovered. There are laws of gravity that Einstein discovered, laws of quantum physics that Erwin Schrödinger discovered. So all of the things that we have in this world, they have laws. And arguably, there would not be actually intelligent life in this universe if there would be no laws. Imagine a universe where there's no laws. I'm trying to drop this cup of coffee, it doesn't drop. Definitely in this universe, there would not be a human intelligent life because it's unpredictable how this world operates. It may be today a cup of coffee, tomorrow it's something else. I'm not able to predict how this world operates. So for this universe, for physical universe to operate, it's super important to actually have laws which are not breakable. There's conservation of energy, there's gravitation, all of the things that we love in this universe. It's actually quite predictable. Now, the computer science universe is not really predictable. I can take this cup of coffee, and next second, someone can take it from me, and it will just disappear. There's this really interesting article today in New York Times where there was a girl, and she had an Instagram account called Metaverse, and then she wakes up and someone takes this Instagram handle from her just because Instagram decided it's very valuable and they need to take it away. So in a real physical universe, people can take away things from you. And in computer science, they can do whatever they want on the internet, on Web 2. So that's the big problem. And it's a big problem with creators. If you create something, if you create art, if you create music, you can't really own it on the internet. You upload this to YouTube, upload this to Facebook, and you actually lose control over it. And even small things like emails or messages, you never know, files, you never know if you have them. So that's number one. People want to have a medium in the virtual world which actually mimics the physical world with laws which are unbreakable in the same way as conservation of energy is unbreakable or speed of light is unbreakable. That's number one. Number two is a very different notion, which is also very interesting. Let's think about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a proof of work, meaning that to create Bitcoin, you need to do number crunching. It's actually very kind of dull and stupid. You spend lots of energy for nothing, and then you have this mathematical entity, you sell it, and you have Bitcoin. So Bitcoin provides you cryptocurrency, but in a very kind of a bit of an ugly way, and you actually waste lots of energy. Then you have proof of stake, and proof of stake, there's no waste of energy, but what you prove actually that you have money. So by having money, you can create more money. Maybe this concept is a little bit more green, but still is a little strange, right? You have money, that now having money allows you to create more money. Now, if you take a look at NFT, it's something very different. NFT is also proof of work, but it's proof of intelligent creator work, right? If someone creates an NFT, it's art, and it takes work to create art, and this work is much more intelligent and interesting and creative than like just doing number crunching as Bitcoin, or even like proof of stake, where what you prove is that you have money. In NFTs, you prove your art, you prove your creation. So suddenly it's kind of an evolution of proof of work where it's much more likable by people, and it also provides a business model for artists to work. That's number two. Number three is also a very interesting observation. This observation is that our world is moving to the situation where pretty much everything is going to be done by robots or AI, except creating work, right? Like what's going to happen to taxi drivers when there are self-driving cars? What's going to happen to delivery people when there are drones, right? Every mundane task in this world is getting automated. So the planet, the mankind needs to find a way for people to keep on doing something in the case where like robots can do all of the repetitive simple tasks. And the only thing people can keep on doing is to create art, because art is actually infinite. There are so many things possible in art. So we need to move the economy of mankind to people creating art, and NFTs actually provide us a way to do it. In the past, being an artist was very much synonymous to being a homeless, right? But we do need to create economy where there's a viable business model for art. And Metaverse provides us by actually turning proof of work from Bitcoin stupid number crunching to the actually creating art objects and creative works. So that's why artists all around the world are so excited about Metaverse and NFTs. Essentially, it's a new type of universe where whatever you create belongs to you forever. And these things also can interact. For instance, as we discussed with you recently, if you have a certain NFT, this NFT can provide you a free pass to a particular concert or discount in a particular store. So these NFTs are objects of the metaverse, but they can also interact. And interaction of these objects can create all kinds of possibilities. You could also think about things like derivative work, where you write a book and I create a movie based on this book, and this movie is using music. So all of these creations not only belong to their respective creators, but they can also interact to create the derivative works. And I must say that this revolution already started. If you think about the last year, the year of 2021 was unique for the mankind, was that people actually saw much more art. Each NFT is a piece of art. And just think how much art you were like digesting or consuming like just a year ago, and how much more art people were able to actually consume just because of NFTs. And this is just the start.
Yeah, and so it's interesting because you see this arc from industrial economy to service economy, and then service economy to creative economy, and right. So there's this kind of interesting arc that's happening where it's like waving up. Anyway, I think that brings us to kind of a second question, which is, why is blockchain important for the metaverse?
Right, that's a really great question, and I think it's really interesting because when people invented blockchain is basically, we discussed it on our series before. Blockchain is basically a way to distribute computing over many computers in such a way that this computing becomes trusted and undestroyable. Whatever is on blockchain is undestroyable because it's copied into so many replicas, and also you can do computation on it again on so many replicas that no one can influence it. So blockchain is the system, this distributed system that is so resilient and so resistant against hackers and bad guys and centralized guys. It really holds things, and whatever you want to compute, it computes the things on you. So this is really a huge progress in computer science. The first thing for use of this progress was cryptocurrencies, right? And then And then people thought, okay, maybe we do things like Web3. So Web3 was kind of a vague notion. It's like, Henry Ford used to say, when you ask customers what they want, they would say a faster horse. So Web3 is kind of a faster horse, like Web2, Web3. Why is it 3? Is it like 50% better? So it was kind of a vague notion coming from the fact that people understood that they needed to transform the web, but they didn't really understand which way. So Web3 was just this kind of a vague thing. Okay, blockchain is going to help us. And I think Metaverse is going to actually suck in the notion of Web3 in the sense that Metaverse is a much better term than Web3. We actually came up now with much better idea how the thing actually will, what it does and what it needs to do. So Metaverse is really like evolution of Web3, and blockchain is the underlying platform for Metaverse, because the laws of blockchain, whatever happens on blockchain, is indestructible and no one can influence it. So if we want this Metaverse to have laws as strict as physics, no one can go faster than speed of light. If you drop this cup of coffee, it actually drops. Energy is conserved, all of the things that are super duper enforced in physics. If you want this level of accuracy in the virtual world, as we have in the physical world, then you need to do blockchain. And so we have pretty much in the year of 2021, we have everything coming together: blockchain, Metaverse, NFTs, creators, and this entire idea that the future of the planet is going to be creations and people getting more creative and creating much more art and other creative work. All of this is kind of coming together. So I think what's happening is that suddenly all of the dots are connected and people actually found answers to many questions, how the world of the future will operate.
So yeah, so we're entering into the creative/creator economy. So then, this is a Scale podcast. So the obvious next question is, how is Scale uniquely positioned to be able to help drive and run the metaverse?
That's a fantastic question. And there are several things. First of all, we always said that Scale was for millions of people, because Scale has potentially unlimited number of blockchains. We built a system where there could be many blockchains, and we were waiting for something that actually needs many blockchains. Now, for DeFi, for things like DeFi, if you look like how many people in the world like are using like DeFi, probably like less than 1 million people really like doing the trading and all of the financial operations. And frankly, DeFi is probably not for everyone. Some people like trading, some people like exchanging tokens, doing all kinds of financial things, but it's not just like every person in the world wakes up and is doing DeFi. Some people just want to do some other things, right? So DeFi cannot provide us really millions and millions of users fast. While Metaverse is literally for everyone. You wake up, whatever you create, whatever you consume. People consume music, movies, books. Every day, every moment of our lives, we're actually touching something which has been created by someone else. So suddenly, NFTs and Metaverse are just much larger than anything that blockchain ever had. And I just like did a search on Google yesterday, just comparing like Google Trends for the term NFT and the term DeFi. And the term NFT is already like exponentially growing, and it's already overtaken anything that blockchain ever had, any other term. It's just like something that just is, it's really for every person on the surface of the earth. And if we have 6 billion users, the only system that currently can actually operate with 6 billion users is Scale, just because we have many blockchains. Other people have one blockchains. Scale has many blockchains. We are already running many of them. We keep on creating them, and we have no problem hosting people of the earth if they want it. So that's number one. Number two, which is also really important, in this new metaverse, if we want to mimic the physical laws, the transactions have to be free, right? Imagine that every time I need to I hold this cup of coffee or I drink this cup of coffee, I would have to pay, even do like a micro payment. Imagine like a universe where for everything you do, every like movement of your hand, whatever, you would have to even like micro pay. It does not work. So if we want to create this actual medium where all of the creative works live, people interact, algorithms interact, all this happening, the actual interactions have to be free. Otherwise, you can't keep on thinking, okay, I have to pay fee for this, fee for that, and it doesn't matter. The fee could be tiny, it's just not gonna work. So the only blockchain that has exactly zero fees forever is Scale. On Scale, there's simply no guess. You don't pay anything, and the reason for that, because in Scale, if you want more transactions, just keep on adding chains. On any other chain, when someone tells you, oh, this chain is like 10 times cheaper than Ethereum. The only reason that this particular chain is 10 times cheaper than Ethereum is because it's less loaded, because once it becomes loaded, just to the price, due to the price auction, it will be as expensive as Ethereum. So when some other people are saying, okay, we have a different chain, another chain is 10 times cheaper, it's just because there's less users, less people that want to use it. If there will be more people, the price of the transaction will rise. The only system that allows forever zero price transactions is Scale, because if you want zero price transactions, if you increase the number of users, what Scale will do, it will increase the number of chains, right? Others just have a single chain, so there's no way for them to scale, so they will have to increase prices from non-zero. So Scale is the only medium where you can have zero pricing. And the last thing is Scale, as we discussed before. Scale is the only blockchain which can hold everything, not just information about art objects, but actual art objects. We can hold music. We can hold videos. We are streaming videos now from some of our chains, and it streams as well as YouTube. In fact, it actually streams better because we have many nodes. You can connect to any node and stream it, so it's also geographically distributed. We can stream as good as YouTube and for free, right? And we can hold images, we can hold music, we can hold anything. Other chains, when they say it's an NFT, the actual NFT is on Google Drive. And then someone actually has to pay for this Google Drive, and probably at the moment, the projects are actually sponsoring this. But what's the business model is going to be when there will be more NFTs? And also, it gives Google full control over the actual image. So what if, next year, Google decides to increase the price of storage 100 times, right? Because they think, just because it's NFT, what if they start removing some of the things? Or what if there is a legal subpoena from there are so many countries in this world, anyone may not like this NFT and decide to take it out. So it doesn't really provide this type of bulletproof rules as the physical world. If I have this cup of coffee in the physical world, it exists. And no one can just press a button and make it disappear. If we want the same type of rules, strict rules in the actual abstract world of computer science and virtual things, we need everything to be stored on blockchain. Every single object has to be on blockchain. Every object which is not on blockchain is actually going to be in trouble because it's centralized and it actually does not provide the level of assurance the physical world provides. So that's why we're so excited in Scale. And people like today ask me on Twitter, why are you so excited about the NFTs? You should be also doing DeFi. We are also doing DeFi too. We are happy. We actually love our DeFi customers. But I think what happened in 2021 is that many vague terms and vague ideas that people had, suddenly the dots got connected. And now we have the clear direction. That's where the world will go. And so many things will change, including this notion of proof of work, proof of stake, And now this other thing like creative work replacing just number crunching. So that's really super, super exciting.
So unlimited scaling, gasless transactions, immutability and censorship resistance. These are all kind of key important factors in the metaverse. Anyway, I want to thank everyone. If you check down, you'll see our Telegram. Please follow us. Please follow us on Twitter. Thanks, Stan. Appreciate it. Bye.